Hello and welcome. My name is Jennifer Bento-Pinion. I'm here at MEFA on the college planning team as director of Mifa Pathway. And just before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping items. We'll keep you on mute throughout the presentation, just to cut back on the background noise. And this session is being recorded, and I will send a follow-up email that will have the link to the recording along with contact information for any follow-up questions. Also included in the follow-up email will be the link to our evidence of learning form because you can earn a quarter of a PDP for this session here. That's part of the MIFA Institute. Okay, so as an extension of all of the great resources that MIFA offers, Mifa Pathway is a cost-free, comprehensive college and career planning web portal. It's available for students in grades 6 through 12. So when a student creates an account in grades 6, 7, or 8, they will see activities that are appropriate for those grades. And then when they progress to grade 9, their Mifa Pathway account transitions with them seamlessly, and they will see additional tools and activities based on their grade level. So for this session, very short session tonight, we're going to take about 10 to 15 minutes and look at the Loan Cost Estimator tool. So I would encourage all of your students to register an account. It's very, very simple. Here we are on mefapathway.org. I shared the link in the chat, so easy to grab. So for your student to create an account, they just click on I am a student, and then they register as a first-time user. So I'll just bring you to that page to show you what it looks like. So first name, last name, date of birth. Then they would select the city or town that their school is in. And then just as an example, let's select Acton. And then you will see all of the schools in that corresponding town. So the student would select the school that they attend and then be brought to the subsequent pages. They create a username, they create a password. They do have to have a working email address in order to create that account, but very basic information. Don't forget the credentials, username, and password. So, and if the student does end up forgetting their username or password, they can always reset by that email address, or they do create 2 security questions when they create their account. All right, so I am going to log in to my student test account here. So put my credentials in. I'm logging in to Alice. She is a grade 12 student. So you can see here on the dashboard when the student logs in, it indicates the grade that they are in and last activity, so they can look at the progress throughout the site. And then based upon their grade level, they can see activities that are appropriate for that grade level. So Mifa Pathway is a web portal that it doesn't just focus on one particular career path. So whether the student is on a trajectory to college or directly into the workforce or the military or taking a gap year or looking at maybe a certification program, it all is within the exploration and discovery is all within this platform here. So it's quite wonderful. So let us navigate over to our loan cost estimator. So I'm going to go to pay for college. And as you can see, there's so many different activities and tools that the student can utilize within this platform, but we're just going to look at the loan cost estimator tonight. So we can see here, the Loan Cost Estimator is a great tool to use both inside and outside of the classroom. So if you're an educator and you want to start teaching your students about interest and principal and what those terms mean at an earlier age, it's quite beneficial to them, because when they get to those upper grade levels, when they're maybe starting to think about paying for college, they can assess, what is affordable for them. We hear so many, across the news all the time, we hear about students getting into a significant amount of loan debt. So we want to alleviate that. So by looking at this tool, you can help your students see what loans look like. Okay, so if the student has actually gone and used that college cost calculator, they can grab those college cost gap totals right from there. So Alice has done that. So we're going to look at, these are the 4 colleges that she's been accepted to, and she has gone in and added in those, the details of her award letters, her offers. So you can see here that she has 4 colleges, and maybe Alice is really set on UMass Boston. So we're going to click on UMass Boston, and when we do, the gap for the 4-year total will automatically populate within this box here. So maybe your student is, if they're in the younger grade levels, maybe they don't have an actual loan amount, but they can plug in an approximate just to look at what the interest rate and repayment looks like to them. But we're going to look at an actual cost gap here. So we have 42,480, and then they're telling us that the typical interest loan rate is 5%. So we're going to plug that in. And then when I work with students, I always look at 15 years to repay to start. So we're going to put in 15 years. And then what the system does here is it calculates out the estimated monthly loan payment, which is $335.93. And after 15 years, the total amount based upon the principal in the interest will be over $60,000. So based on that initial loan payment, or excuse me, that initial loan amount, which is a little over 42,000, of that over the course of 15 years, just under 18,000 will be interest. So this is where the conversations come. What is principal? What is interest? A lot of students don't know about that. I know when I show this tool to educators, a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, geez, I wish we had this when I was going to school," and I can say the same thing. So it's just good for the students to look at, be educated about this. So I always take the student back to, okay, so that's 15 years. Let's look at taking 10 years to repay. So let's change that up here. Now we're looking at 10 years to repay. And as you can see, the calculation changes here. The monthly loan payment rises a bit, but also the interest goes down. So over the total years of repayment, they're looking at paying back a less amount. So then going into another step, the student can then say, okay, well, I've gone through MEFA Pathway a bit. I've been looking at different career choices for myself. What I'm going to apply a career of interest to see what that might look like for my projected annual salary, and based on my monthly loan payment, what that looks like. Is it affordable? So let's see, let's check out, as you can see, can plug in all of the careers within the dropdown here come from our ONET database. So I just plugged in education, and then you can see we can select from a number of different options here. So let's look at guidance. So we select that particular career, and then the projected annual salary populates automatically, and then we can calculate out the affordability of that loan in the financial stress analysis. So based on the monthly loan payment of $450.57, projected salary of just over $56,000 a year, we're seeing that this might be on the lower stress side. But also the conversations can continue as far as, okay, you might have a loan payment, but then again, you might also have a car payment, and maybe you're renting an apartment and you need to buy food. So you can even go one step further and having those conversations about the other things that the student will be paying for in addition to a loan payment. So a great start It's never too early. It's never too early to start talking about financial literacy and how that can affect choices made. One more thing I'd like to show you before we end. If you're an educator and you're working with students in the classroom, let me just log out here. When you're on the Mifa Pathway landing page here, you just click on For Counselors, and you have access to all of our great lesson plans, and we continue to build out this library, but all kinds of great topics here that you can just click on the little PDF icon here, and it'll bring up the actual PDF. And let me show you, we do have one that is geared toward using the Loan Cost Estimator, the tool that I just highlighted for you. So it gives you step-by-step instructions, activities, applying the content, information, evaluating the information, and then an activity for the student to complete as well. So just gives you kind of some ideas of how you may want to use the Loan Cost Estimator, maybe in your classroom. All right. I thank you for joining tonight. And again, I will follow up with an email that will have a link to this recording, and you'll have the contact information if you have any questions. If you're an educator in Massachusetts and you are interested in becoming one of our affiliate schools, MEFA offers this resource free of cost to all schools in Massachusetts. So reach out to me and you can learn more. Okay, thank you so much and have a great evening. Take care.